We're standing out at the east side of the site, out on a ridge that was the home of many people in prehistory. Behind me, you can see across the floodplain of where Honeybee Canyon comes in and joins Big Wash. And it was a critical place for the site because this is where all of the food would have been coming from. The Hohokam are an agricultural society, and they would have grown corn, beans, squash. They would have collected mesquite beans from trees down in the floodplain. They probably would have carried a ditch or a number of ditches off of the mouth of Honeybee Canyon down here close to the site, and that would have provided both water, and it would have water for drinking and water for the irrigated fields that they would have had down below the site. And over as we look out across the floodplain this way, you can see where Big Wash comes in. That's where the bridge is across over here. There's some modern development over next to it. You can see it's a very large floodplain. It's green, lush this summer. There's been a lot of summer rains, and it probably would have looked much like this in prehistory. And nowadays, people are using this area as well. You can see down further as we go down towards where Big Wash runs into the Cañada del Oro. That's a modern hospital. There's Oracle Road in the distance down there below Push Ridge. That's also where Catalina State Park is, and that's where one of the other large Hohokam villages is that would have been about the same age as this one. We're underway on the excavation of a Hohokam household. It's a group of houses that are oriented around a common place. It would have been a family in prehistory, maybe the mother and father and with some kids in one house and the grandparents in another. And it's over a long period of time, so there's multiple generations represented in all the houses that are behind me that are being excavated. This household dates to about AD 1000, so it's about 1,000 years old. Those of us doing the research are most interested is what they left on the floors and what the trash is that is sometimes tossed in after a house is abandoned, because that tells us an awful lot about what the people were doing, what they were eating, their daily activities. So it's, in a lot of respects, it's the trash that is most interesting. All those broken bits of pottery and pieces of bone from the bunnies that they were eating and things like that. Some of the more interesting individual finds are things like clay figurines and shell and turquoise jewelry. There's a whole range of things like that. The first things we do, of course, is to get everybody set up in whatever archaeological features they're working on, things like houses or pits or whatever it might be. And lately, because of all the rains, the first thing they do is to bail the water out of the tarps that are covering the houses. But once that's taken care of, typical excavation would go where they lay out a unit, just a rectangle of some sort that we initially test, say, a house or a pit with, and they'll use shovels and trowels and screen the dirt to find the artifacts that are still intact there. This is a prehistoric pit house that dates to the AD 1000s that is just nearing full excavation. We're almost done with it. There's you can see the general outline of the foundation of the house around me. I'm standing just inside the entryway, and right in front of me here is the hearth. They would have had just probably coals that they brought in from a fire outside in that. They would have used it for warming food or in the wintertime, just keeping the house warm. And just as I'm looking out here, there's a couple of holes that are post holes for where the start of the entryway is. And if I were to walk out towards you, the entryway is coming out that direction. There's a step up because the foundation of this house is set down into the ground, so they had to step up to get outside of the house. This house had a few things in it on the floor. There was actually a carved stone bowl that was sitting right in the middle of the entryway, and another smaller stone bowl that was right nearby there. Most of the rest of the things you see on the floor are probably trash. There's just little pieces of broken pottery and some rocks in here. Some of that may have fallen down from the roof or just been left there when the house was abandoned. The house burned at the time it was abandoned. This is another prehistoric house. This one dates quite a bit earlier than the last one that we looked at. It dates to about AD 800. It's fairly well preserved on the floor. There's a burned beam that comes across the floor over here. There's several others that were here that we've already removed from the floor. The holes that you see are places where we're exploring post holes that were for the support of the roof. We're not fully done with that. They're excavating over here the other portion of the house. This would be the front of the house coming back behind me. There'd be an entryway back here, and they're defining the front wall. Over on the left of me here, there's a jar, a good-sized jar that was crushed by the weight of the soil up above it so that it sort of flattened a little bit. There was a burned bean that was right next to it, so there's a chance that when we take the soil out, we'll find out that it was full of beans.